Hello, my loves. Welcome back to our podcast. We are the Babbling Sisters. Almost forgot who we were. I'm Nellie.
And I'm Steph.
We're off to a great start here.
Perfect. Rocking the
I,
boat.
I just knocked over more things on this desk. I'm not used to the desk right here, so everything's like
Woo! Everyone just went on a ride if you're watching.
everyone's just wobble wobble, a wibbity wobble. So today we're talking about mental health awareness and all things mental.
Yeah,
So it's a wide
it's a while.
discussion board there.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I figured
So
it was Mental Health Awareness Month. We should get something in there since, we're big on that.
absolutely. I am a huge advocate for mental health. Um, Not only because of people that I know, but because of myself. And I don't think it's something that's talked about as regular as it should be. So in this episode, we are going to touch base on not only our personal journeys, but just how important mental health is to us, and why. And also kind of touch on some stigmas too, because it's definitely a huge thing.
For sure.
So, with that said, I feel like I always start. Steph, take it away.
I'm starting today? All right. That's weird. completely just
She's like,
throw me.
I'm not
I
ready.
wasn't
I'm not
prepared.
ready.
Uh, let's see. So yeah, look at my notes. See what I got. See what we can start off with.
Girl.
Um, look, mental health is very, very important. It's just as important as your physical health, if not more important, because it tends to be ignored more than your physical health. You
Facts.
you look at you're in pain somewhere and you pay attention to it and you go to a doctor and you figure it out. And for your mental health, you tend to ignore it and you're like, oh, I can deal with it. It's not that bad, whatever. And it goes ignored for a long enough time and it can cause some serious problems. So you need to talk to people
Yeah.
and you need to check in with yourself and check in with others if you have to. It's very,
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
important.
I feel like people don't look at it really as a health situation.
Yeah.
And when we talk about, mental health, it has health in it for a reason, right?
Right.
But people don't take it as serious as, like you said, you can see something's wrong or you feel a pain in a specific spot. So you can go to the doctor and be like, hey, this is what's happening. I'm bleeding right here.
Right.
Fix it. So, you see it or you feel it and you talk about it, or other people around you. Like if I was to come into your house and my arm is broken and I was about to
The wrong
swear,
way.
bent over there, then you're gonna be like, hey, Nelly, you need to go get that checked. But when it comes to mental health, you can't see that. There are a lot of telltale signs of, depression and anxiety and a lot of things that you can see. But if you're not aware of those things and you're not aware of those signs and you haven't seen people with those signs, you can mistake it for something else. Like, for instance, depression. When I've been in like a major depressive mode, I haven't wanted to get out of bed. I have struggled to get up and take a shower, to eat, to move.
Yeah.
But people look at that as, oh, you're just really extra tired. You just need a rest, just stay in bed. And
Right.
that's the worst thing you can do. You need to get up out of bed. You need to get up out of the house. But, the knee-jerk trigger response is, oh, you must really just be tired.
Right.
And even for me at times when I'm in that really deep depressive state, I don't even realize I'm there until I'm absolutely struggling weeks later to try to get out of it and be
Right.
like, yo, what? still in this bed? Why? And y'all don't be talking about me. Don't be talking about me. Why have I not taken a shower in days? Like I remember
Yeah.
when years ago when I was like really, really depressed. I think probably a good week went by where I did not get in the shower and I didn't even realize, and it sounds crazy to people who've never been in that spot mentally, but I didn't even realize that I wasn't getting out of the bed. I wasn't showering.
Yep.
And I honestly can't even tell you if I ate or drank at all that week. I was extremely weak and I was tired and I wasn't talking to anyone.
I guarantee you didn't eat or drink much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Probably just a little bit to keep surviving, but and
Your
a lot of
basic
people
needs
just
go
like,
right out the
oh,
window. Like
yeah.
you completely. It's tough. It's tough, and when you don't have a support system or anyone that you feel that you can talk to, it's really hard.
Yeah. Or even just people around you that are aware, you know what I mean? So even if someone in your circle um does struggle with depression or anxiety, even if you don't yourself, really sit down and get to know what their telltale signs are, or just the general signs in general for mental health. Because guaranteed, like I said, when I was going through it, nobody knew because I wasn't speaking on it. I just got silent and pulled myself back because I didn't even realize I was in that spot until it was a little bit too late and until I was like, yo, what the hell? I need help. I don't know why I'm like this.
Yeah.
And it's always like that, because if you deal with depression or anxiety, sometimes you really don't know why. There's no major trigger
Hmm.
that gets you to that spot. It's just things compiled on top and on top and on top and on top. And I know for me at that point, it was just everything that I stuffed into my box that I didn't speak on, that I didn't let out, just one day just folded in. And I couldn't tell you exactly what it was that tipped me over.
Yeah.
I was really sitting there like, what the hell's wrong with me? Why am I acting like this? For me, looking at myself, there was nothing wrong to make me that depressed. But there was, but I just wasn't acknowledging what it
You
was
weren't
and
acknowledging
what
all of
needs
the
I
little
had.
things, yeah, that were piling up
Yeah,
into big
yeah,
things.
yeah. So it's like, and I've had people ask me like, when you get into that depression or when you have your anxiety, like, how do you see it happening? Do you see it coming? And sometimes I'm like, yeah, okay. I see the panic attack about to come, and sometimes I can stop it, through breathing or meditation or, switching my focus to something else.
Hmm.
Or sometimes, I've had to take Ativan to calm down, but there are other times where no, I don't see it happening. And a panic attack could just come out of nowhere, and I have
Yeah.
no idea why. I
Yep.
don't know what triggered me. And literally the room will start to spin around me and things will start echoing and getting loud. And I feel like I can't breathe. I'm about to die. I'm going to pass out.
Yep.
And I'm just like, what the hell is happening to me right now? And I've had panic attacks, So it's like, when people look at people with mental health issues, they're like, well, how do you not know? Hello? It's not, it's not like oh yeah, this is exactly what's happening,
Right.
because when you're in that spot, there's so many other things happening in your brain that you can't even begin to focus on it.
It's
It's
true.
not something that's just like, oh, hey, you're about to have a panic attack. Why don't you just sit down and relax for it? It doesn't like scroll across your
Ah,
brain
that would
here,
be nice
people.
though. That would be so
You
nice.
know?
I would love a warning.
Hey. Hey, in 3 days, you're about to be so depressed, you can't even get your ass in a shower. Why don't you tell somebody so they can come and help you? It just doesn't work like that.
Yep.
And I feel like a lot of people who there are people who are even undiagnosed. And there are people who are diagnosed. And it's the same across the board that they're made to feel ashamed to talk about it,
Hmm.
and within our circle, we're very close and we very supportive. We have different ranges of different mental health things, and everybody deals with a mental health crisis. It doesn't mean that you have, a disorder
Right.
or a mental health disease or something. Like that's not what it is. Mental health has crisis moments, and you do not have to be a chronic
Right.
sufferer of depression or anxiety.
Absolutely.
People have seasonal depression. People have depression because of a life situation. People have anxiety and they might deal with it once and never again. Great
Mm-hmm.
for them. But there are people that struggle day in and day out, and they're made to feel uncomfortable to speak about it. And to me, it's sad when you can't even talk to your group of friends about your mental health. And we're very open
Yep.
in our group. And obviously, you guys know we're very open on this podcast. Open as open can be. But the way that we talk, like one of our friends would be like, bitches, I'm struggling.
Yep.
I'm gonna go MIA for a couple of days, but check in on me if you don't hear from me in 3 days. And we respect that boundary and we'll do our little check-ins, but no, she's not gonna respond. But if you don't respond after those 3 days, GPS location on,
Yep.
and we're coming to find you one
Someone's
way or
showing up at
another.
your door.
Right. So, like I said, in our group, we're very aware of it and we're aware of what each other needs in those moments because we communicate it, right? So, like if I was to hit up them and say, I'm super depressed, guaranteed, like my door could be locked and my sister's coming in the house. Key or not,
Yep.
she's coming in the house.
Kool-Aid
If she
Man
doesn't hear from
bashing through
me,
that wall.
and I feel like everyone needs that. I feel like everyone needs that support system. Like I said, the world looks down on mental health as if it's like some stigma
Mm-hmm.
and just something made up and something people can control. Like, oh, you're depressed, well, get over it, get
Yeah.
out of it.
It's not
Bitch,
that
it ain't that
easy.
easy.
No.
If it was, we wouldn't have all these issues we have. And there's so much more people suffering, even people around you. The people who smile the most and everything is great are the ones who are suffering the worst. You need to check on your strong friends. I'm telling you right
Mm-hmm.
now, any strong person you have in your life, it's as simple as saying, mental health check. What's really going on?
Yep.
How are you? Honestly, how are you? It's not even like, don't do that. Hey, how's it going? No, mentally, where are you? I have had friends ask me that, and the friends that know me the longest are the ones who know. And I even have a friend who hasn't known me that long. Like we met on VR like 2 months ago, and he literally, after this whole move, he was like, mental health status, what's going on? How you doing mentally?
Yep.
And I'm like, how
You've got
do you
you have to do
know?
those mental health check-ins with your loved ones. You have to.
They're important. They're so important. And it's hard because people don't want to talk about it because they're meant to think it's a choice or they're crazy or it's not real. It's all a figment of your
Mm-hmm.
imagination. You can control it. And all those things are not true. Um, are there times where some people embellish? Yeah, absolutely.
But you're
But
gonna
do
get
you
that with
really want to be that
anything.
person?
Yeah.
Right. Do you really want to be that person to be like, oh no, you're fine, cut the shit, get over it, come on, let's go hang out. And then they kill themselves. And all you had to do was be there and be a listening ear to like, hey, what's happening?
Right.
I had a really close friend of mine reach out to me and just randomly reach out to me as a check-in. And we talked for a good 45 minutes to an hour. And immediately after our call, he was telling me how much he loved me and how much he appreciated me and he missed me and all that. And just, telling me how important I was to him. Um, and he was, a little bit disconnected. All of his friends had went out, and I'm thinking, okay, he's tired because normally he would speak to me and tell me if something was on his mind, and
Yeah.
I had missed other red flags during the conversation because I took for face value, okay, this friend has normally told me when something's off or when something's bothering him. So the fact that he's saying he's tired and decided to stay in, okay, not too much of a red flag. But immediately after the phone call, he tried to kill himself. I got a call from him a week later, and he said, "You're going to be so mad at me. Please don't hate me." I said, "What are you talking about?" And he was like, "After our FaceTime last week, I tried to kill myself." And I was like, "Oh my God." And immediately I felt bad. I felt guilty because I felt like, as his friend, I
Yeah.
should have seen the signs, and I know, he
It's
even told me, and other
hard.
people told
Yeah.
me, you can't put that on
You
yourself.
can't.
That was not your fault. And I say that to people all the time because I have had people who their friends and family have committed suicide, and they're like, "Why didn't I see anything? Why didn't I do
Yeah.
anything?" And I'm like, you can't put that on yourself, because if they're going to hide it, and those who are truly committed to killing themselves, they're not going to tell you because they don't want to be stopped. And you cannot put that on yourself, as hard as that is. And even for me,
Yes.
that's hard, and I know it, you know? And I told him, I was like, I felt so bad, and I felt bad that he wasn't able to tell me. And I made him promise that, next time if he got into that spot, that he would at least let me know.
Yeah.
Um, so that I could, talk to him, or we could just sit there. And I have to be more conscious of those other signs and trigger points for him as well, because it can be very difficult. Even though you see somebody all the time,
Yeah.
there
Uh,
could be signs in front of your face, and you don't realize
You
it because we're
know.
so used. Yeah.
I mean, people with mental health problems and disorders and traumas, you get
Hmm.
so good at masking and so good at
Oh
putting on
yeah.
that smile and acting as if nothing is
Hmm.
wrong. I mean, it's so hard. And even the closest people to you may not even be able
Yeah.
to see through that sometimes. It's,
Hmm.
you get really, really good at it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've tried to commit suicide a couple of times. I've had like this when I was younger. I've had suicidal thoughts when I was younger, and I was also cutting for a while, and no one knew. No one knew because for me it wasn't. I didn't want anyone to know. It wasn't, there are some people like, "Oh, you're just doing it for the attention." No. When I was cutting, as crazy as it sounds, it's because I wanted to feel something. I felt empty. I didn't feel love. I didn't feel hurt. I felt empty. And I was like, I need to feel something. I need to have control over a specific feeling that I have. Um, and that was right after I was raped, and I was just literally just sitting there just cutting. And it felt a release. And I was like, okay, I can feel this. And then I still felt like I was alive and I was human. And that's the best way that I can describe it to people, because people are like, "Why the hell would you cut yourself?" Like, it's not about, getting attention from someone. Like I said, it was really about being in control and feeling something. Um, but I honestly, I feel like people don't talk about it, and especially men. Mental health is a very, very hard topic for men, and
Well,
particularly men of color.
yes. But men in
Um,
particular are more told to not show their
Suck it
feelings
up.
and to yeah
That pisses
to
me
act like a
off.
man, and
That
um,
pisses me off.
and so it makes it a lot harder for them. We're a little bit more in touch with our feelings, so to say. We're allowed to explore that realm from a young
Because
age.
it goes back to mental health being a sign of weakness, and women are okay to have some weakness because we're
Hmm.
weaker beings, right?
Right.
That's what society says. Fuck you, society. That's what I gotta say. However, um for me, and like I tell all the men in my life, especially the men of color that are in my life, um come to me. I don't care who else is in your life. If you don't feel like you can talk to someone openly about something that you're feeling mentally, or you're feeling down, or you're feeling stressed, anything, come to me.
Hmm.
I will be your sounding board, and I am not going to look at you any different. I feel like a lot of men, and there have been some men who have said it to me, that they are made to feel weak and useless if they cry, if they show any type of emotion, any type of mental health struggle, whether it be depression or anxiety. Um, and they suffer in silence a lot.
And that's so sad.
And it really is. It breaks my heart and it makes me so disgusted and pissed off at this world and society and everyone in it.
Yep.
Because you want these men to be these strong backbones of the family, take care of everything, but who's taking care of them? Everybody that's human needs to be taken care of mentally, physically. It's basic human needs. We're all human.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're a man, a woman,
Doesn't
in
matter.
between, it
Non-binary. Yep.
doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
matter.
It doesn't matter.
We all have
Everyone can
feelings.
suffer with mental health.
We all have feelings.
Yes.
We all have emotions. We have all of those things. Every single one of us.
Yeah. And I honestly have come to the point where I tell people like you're weak and you're a bitch if you don't talk about your feelings. If you open up and you talk about your feelings, you're the strongest person I know because I know how difficult it
It's
is
true.
to open your mouth and say something.
So true.
That is the most difficult part because one, you're acknowledging it to yourself finally because you're speaking it. So
Yep.
when you speak on something, that means it's real, it's happening. The more you keep it in, you try to convince yourself, oh no, that's not what it is.
Yep. Exactly.
This, that, whatever.
It's just
No,
something I'm
you're
going through.
speaking
It's
on it,
nothing. Yeah.
right? You're acknowledging it and you're opening up to someone else. And I know how hard it is to open up to someone. That can be the most scariest thing in the world because you never know how someone's going to take it and how they're
Mm-hmm.
going to perceive it and how they're going to look at you. And, I had a friend who told me that when he did open up about his mental health struggle, his family told him that he was a piece of shit and he was weak and he was worthless.
That's horrible.
And I was like, are you,
How could you even say
you
that to
want me to
someone you
fight your
love?
family?
Like,
You want me to fight your family, right? Because I got two hands and feet. They'll get them all. Okay.
ridiculous.
Um, I think it's absolutely disgusting and inhumane for someone to say that to anyone, especially to your family. Especially.
I mean, that's supposed to be someone that you love and care about and want to, protect and cherish and all this stuff. And here we are speaking such awful things to them when they're obviously going through
Hmm.
something and they need help and support. And here you are
Right?
being an asshat. Like,
Yeah. And, maybe it goes back to, we've lived a life of mental health and from early childhood. Um, so we have a lot broader understanding of different mental health situations and crises and our minds, we're a lot more open. A lot of it does come down to ignorance where people just don't understand it,
it's true.
and I'm gonna be completely honest because that's who I am. When I was younger, I didn't understand it. Even though I was going through my own things, I didn't understand what I was going through.
Yeah.
I didn't understand the depression or the PTSD. Um, I didn't get it. And, our with our mom, I thought she was faking all of it. And because I didn't understand it. I was like, the fuck you mean? How do you not? This don't make no sense. And even with other people around me, I didn't get it. I was ignorant as fuck. I was closed-minded and I didn't take the time to really sit down and understand. And that's shame on me
Yeah, but you were also a
because now
kid,
that I
though.
know, yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
talking like teens, my
As you
late
become
teens.
an adult, there's really not much of an
Right,
excuse. But when you're a
right.
kid
But
and
still,
even a
shame on
teenager,
me.
no,
No,
stop
because
that.
even as a kid, I was very open-minded. You know what I mean? And I embraced everyone and loved everyone. But I didn't know that part of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So even in my early 20s, it was still a little bit difficult and I kind of like went wishy-washy on it um, until I really sat down and understood what I was going through
Yeah.
and understood, oh, okay, there's a lot of people around me as well that are going through a lot of stuff. And, we had friends when we were younger that have tried to kill themselves or did commit suicide. Um, and to see, their really close friends and family, be affected by it, um, I still didn't fully understand. And, when somebody's in that situation, they're not, people always say, oh, you're so selfish. You don't care about who you're leaving behind. But for a lot of people who are thinking of committing suicide or who do, they feel that everyone's better off without them
Mm-hmm.
because they have so many issues, because they are not happy, because they're being outcasted, because they're having issues, or, because people are constantly trying to help them, but nothing's helping. And they feel so helpless. They feel that they're better off and everyone is better off without them. And you can't convince someone otherwise. It doesn't matter what you say to people. It doesn't matter how often you say it. You have to just be consistent. But you can't force them to believe what you know and what you believe. You
Yeah.
just have to keep saying it in hopes that they come out of that whirlwind that they're in.
Right.
And I've heard stories of, people who have said, like, I was about to commit suicide and you reached out and just like, hey, what's going on? What's up? And stopped me from what I was doing that night because they felt like nobody cared. And the fact that someone just reached out
Yeah.
just changed it. And it goes back to check on your friends, especially now, the world we are living
Seriously.
in.
Seriously.
One, the world sucked pre-COVID. Okay.
Oh boy.
Society sucks. Hairy monkey balls on a hot summer day. Okay.
That
But
does
with COVID,
not sound like it smells pleasant.
sure doesn't. Sure doesn't. Sure doesn't. It's not.
Nope.
Okay. But with COVID added on top of that, there's a lot that people are going through. They're losing a lot of family members. They're losing their jobs. They're losing their homes. They're struggling. Relationships are breaking. Domestic violence is up. There's a lot that people are going through that they're still hiding, because they don't want people to see what's really happening. They feel ashamed. They feel guilty.
Yep.
Um,
They feel like they're going to be a
but just
burden.
check on someone. Yeah, check on them. Check on your friends. If you haven't heard from someone in a while, just check on them.
Yep.
You don't need to put an hour aside to have a full-on conversation. Send out a text. Hey, friend, thinking about you.
Yep.
That
That's
can
it.
mean the world to someone.
Simple as that.
You crossed my mind. Hey, friend, what's up?
Yep.
That's it. Um, but also, maybe if you don't know someone personally which I find it hard,
I find it very hard. You may
yeah, I
not
find it very hard.
know what they're going through, but I guarantee you someone around you is going through something. I
Yes.
guarantee you.
Right. Right. I find it very hard that there are people in this world who don't know someone that is struggling with mental health issues, or even if it's just a temporary situation with mental health and not maybe a chronic
Right.
situation, just a mental health crisis. I find it very difficult that you don't know someone. Maybe you don't know that they're going through it.
Yeah.
But maybe open your eyes. Maybe open your mind and start looking into mental health. What are the signs of like depression and anxiety are the two huge things.
They're the big ones, yeah.
Um, but yeah, but what are the signs? And check on your friends. If you see something or you get a little flag, be like, hey, what's really going on? And ask them, and at that point you might even need to do a face-to-face
Yep.
FaceTime, Facebook Messenger party, like, and really just look at them because I can sound really happy on the phone, like, hey guys, what's going on? And I'll be like, death over here. Like I could fake
Your
it,
best
the
customer
voice,
service voice,
but
yeah.
yeah, listen, I will
Yep.
put
Yeah.
that. Hi, how can I help you today? Like,
Yep.
I got the ill customer service voice, okay? So people can fake that, but the longer you keep them on the phone, especially face to face, you are going to see something that's real, And maybe, if you don't have the time, we're all busy. I get it. But like I said, just reach out and keep reaching out.
Yep.
One time they're going to answer,
Yep.
you know? And even if they don't, that's okay. But just them knowing that you care and you're reaching out, sometimes that's all it takes.
It's true.
There's so many different mental health issues. We can't even begin to touch
Uh-huh.
base on all of, the issues of mental health and what people really go through. You know, Depression, anxiety, suicide. That's just the tip of the
Yeah.
iceberg. There's so many
So
issues
many.
within mental health, and there's not a lot of resources. And um, health insurance, it sucks here in America. I don't know, where everyone's from that's listening. But over here in America, the land of the free that they want to talk about, they want to talk about how it's the best. No, no, we're not. And mental health gets put to the side a lot.
A
They want
lot.
to find something else wrong
Yep.
with you to, explain what you're going through. Um, and there's a lot of misdiagnosis, and a lot of doctors even have told me like, oh, it's fine, your vitamins are a little bit off, or
It's
maybe you just need to do this.
it's so shocking to me the amount of times that I have gone to, whether it be the emergency room or anything, for a physical problem. And then as soon as they see in my chart that I have a history of depression, that all goes
Hmm.
out the window and everything is ignored. Everything,
Yep.
including my mental health.
And then you're
And
crazy.
it's me just being crazy, and it's in
Hmm.
my head. The pain is in my head.
Yeah.
So many times. It's at like you have no idea how many times I've gotten so mad that that's even in my record for the physical health stuff. Like because yeah,
Yeah.
some of it does play a role, absolutely. Can you get a stomach ache
But
with depression and
that's
anxiety?
if
Of
you're
course.
chronic.
Of course, exactly. But
If it's in there that you're a hypochondriac, I get it. But if
ri-
you're going in there because you're bleeding,
right.
oh
GI
no.
bleeds. I had internal
Yeah, they said
intestinal
it was in your head.
bleeding. Internal intestinal bleeding. They could see that I was
Hmm.
bleeding. But because I had depression, somehow it was in my head.
Yeah. Hmm.
And that I was just going to have to deal with it. That's what I was told. Just deal with it. Just something you're going to
Yep.
have to live with.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
I've
what?
been told that so many times. And it goes back to that health and wellness that we talked about, where doctors have even said to me, oh, well, if you lose a little bit of weight, you wouldn't be so depressed.
Yeah.
Bitch, that my weight ain't got shit to do with my mentals, okay? Ain't no weight sitting on my fucking brain, bitch. No, there's something else wrong up there. Don't tell me what's in my gut down here.
Right.
Shedding that's gonna do something. No, 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 honey, no.
Yes.
I ain't never had no mentals because of my weight. Um, but I totally agree with you. I think it's sad because, there are some people who go to the doctors all the time because they're hypochondriac, or they're
Right.
stressed out, they have anxiety because they're worried that something is seriously wrong. And I get that. Um, but treat the patient for what they're coming in for. And if you can't find anything physically wrong with them, okay, then a mental health evaluation, because there might be another crisis that's going
Right.
on. They might be coming in there because of domestic violence, and they're creating something because they're trying to get away
Right.
and they don't want to say that. But you can't just, as soon as you see mental health issues on their record, assume that that's what the problem is.
Right.
And that happened to me a lot. You know that. I refused to go to the emergency room at times because I didn't want to be deemed a hypochondriac.
Mm-hmm.
And because I didn't want them to be like, oh, it's just your mental. So I put up with a lot of pain.
Yep.
That time where I
Same.
had the torsion with my ovaries,
Yeah. You put up
I
with that for a
did
long
not.
time.
Over a week, my fallopian tube was twisted on itself, and it was literally dying. and you have an organ inside of you dying, you can imagine the pain that your body is going through. I couldn't even sit up straight and I couldn't stand up at times. And I didn't want to go to the emergency room because I knew what they were going to say.
Lose some weight.
And yeah, lose some weight. I went to my OBGYN because I was like, they're gonna understand what's happening down here, these pains and this bleeding and whatnot. No, the OBGYN said the same exact thing. Like, well, oh, well, you made it here, so it can't be that bad. It's probably just in your head. Oh, well, maybe you just need to lose some weight and then, that everything will even itself out with your periods. Now he was like top of the line OBGYN, okay, in Boston. Like, you telling me what? And then the pain did go away for a while. So I was like, I'm sitting there thinking, like, Darnell, is something wrong with your mentals? Were you imagining that horrible pain for so long? What the hell are you doing to yourself? And then it came back, and I was like, nope. And the pain was so bad to the point where I was throwing up, went to the emergency room. And as soon as they took my blood pressure, she was like, you're dying. And I was like, what? What are you talking about?
Ugh,
And it was like there was no question about my mental health at all. It
right.
was you're in pain and we need to figure this out. And I was literally screaming. They were doping me up with like so much pain meds that I should have been knocked out. Like we're talking like
But the fact
for
that
a
you had to
horse.
get to that point
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
so
Because
atrocious and
it's
horrible.
sad. It's really sad. Um, and, I take big on there are some hospitals, at least I know here back home, where they do have mental health advocates for that very reason. To be able to sit there in the room with you and be like, no, 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 no. This has nothing to do with that, and they advocate for
Yeah.
that patient who may feel ashamed or feel bad or not know any other medical terminology or not know things to ask or to say and just take the answers that they're given of, hey, this is all in your head, figure it out, come back. So there are mental health advocates, and I think that they don't get enough light shed on them, nor are they utilized as much as they should because people
Mm-hmm.
don't know that
They
they're
don't know
there,
they're there. Yeah.
you know? Um, but it's sad that, even for me in my grown ass age and knowing what I know, and y'all know I got a big mouth, but when you're in pain, you can't even speak for yourself. So it's like I've gone to the hospital and they're like, oh, well, maybe this, that, whatever. And I'm like, "Ah, whatever." And I just leave because it's too much emotionally, mentally, physically. Like, I'm already tired. I don't feel good. I just want to go home now.
Yep.
you know?
Yeah. It's true.
And
It's so true. I've
it's
been
different.
there.
I feel like America needs to get its shit together. I don't know how other countries are, so I'm only speaking on America.
Yeah.
So if you guys are in another country, definitely let us know. Like, but I feel like in a sense of where we're at in the world, mental health awareness has definitely come up a lot. And it's now talked about more. People like us are coming out and speaking out about it and being advocates and saying, hey, I deal with this shit too. And I'm still a functioning human being. It doesn't make me any less capable than anyone else who doesn't suffer with mental health issues. It makes me a real person,
Yeah.
and we speak on it, and we're not going to shut the door and, oh no, it doesn't exist, out of sight, out of mind. No, it's here. Knock, knock, knock,
Yep.
knock, we're
Mm.
here. We're coming in. um so it's, other people who are suffering or who don't maybe know about it are starting to become a little bit more aware, and starting to not feel alone. I feel like a lot of people who suffer with mental health feel like they're the only ones.
Right.
They're crazy because people just won't talk
People
about
don't
it.
talk about it. People don't talk about what they're feeling and what they're going through and their struggles with it. And so people
Yeah,
feel like they literally feel like they're the only person going through that. Everyone else has got their shit together, and they're the only one who, for
right.
some reason,
And
doesn't.
that's also a social media issue too,
Mm-hmm.
because social media, Don't believe everything you see on social media. These people over here making all these TikToks and all these videos and all these
It's all fake.
comedians laughing and everything, like they're empty inside too. They are depressed. They're,
Yep.
look at Robin Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's like the happiest man alive and he killed himself. He wasn't happy.
Yep.
And the people around him knew it. But he put on that smile and he put on that outwardness to the world. Hey, I'm just happy go lucky. Everything's great. Don't worry about it. And that's why I said check on your strong friends. Check on your friends that are always smiling and
Yep.
always happy because social media will be the biggest lie in the world. But
Yep.
going back to what I was starting to say before I went on that rant, I feel like in America, we need to separate mental health from all other health issues. If somebody's coming in for a certain reason, don't just because they have that little tag,
Right.
it shouldn't even be in that health section. You know what I mean? Like, unless you run through the gamut of everything else and can't figure it out, then go and pull up their other
Right.
files. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, it should be separated. It shouldn't be a stigma of that's automatically the
Right.
issue right away.
There's definitely going to be some
It's
overlap. I
bullshit.
mean, it all works together. Your
Yeah.
body is one big organ, you
Mhm.
know? It's all doing its shit. But it
Right.
doesn't what just because you have depression or anxiety or anything doesn't mean that you can't have anything physical too. Like,
Right.
you need to look at all the physical stuff first, eliminate that, and then look at mental stuff and see if it's
Hmm.
something else that's going on. But
Yeah.
just poo pooing a person away and shooing them away because they have mental health.
Poo-pooing.
Yeah, poo pooing. Poo poo. Because they have a
I
mental
love it.
health issue or
Yeah.
is it's horrible.
Yeah.
And
Or making them sit there in the room for hours, unattended, nobody coming in. Now, this has happened to me, and that's why I said what I said. I have been in pain, crying, and they have me sit there for hours. And they think by giving you IV fluids
right.
that that's going to be your magical cure, right? Because it's mental.
Yep.
You're coming in here, crazy ass person with a mental problem, nothing else wrong. So these IV magic bag of fluids is gonna
It's
fix
gonna
your
fix it.
whole fucking world.
Make it
So they
all better.
stuff that bag on there, do the slow drip, come back hours later. Guess what, bitch? I'm still in pain.
Yeah.
That didn't change. This ain't magic. I know that's water. It ain't doing
With
nothing
some
for me.
salt.
It's not doing nothing but having me have to go pee, and I'm in pain, so I don't want to get up.
Yep.
Now you're gonna have to take your little dumb ass and put a little bedpan under here. I'm gonna pee on your hand. That's how I'm gonna pay you back. I honestly cannot. I cannot stand when people in the medical field do that.
It's very
And I've
frustrating.
I've had nurses, bless their hearts, who have believed me and who have fought for me. But
Yes.
ultimately, it's the doctor's decision, and that doctor at the top is the one to be like, nah, mm-mm.
Yep.
The fuck you mean? Mm-mm. The nurse who's been in the room with me 15 times in the last 4 hours, when you saw me for 2 minutes
2 minutes.
once,
Yeah.
I trust her more than anything over you.
Seriously.
So why do you have to say? You know? But I feel like something has to be done, and we need to really start changing as a society to understand and acknowledge and accept people who suffer with mental health. It's sad because people just make fun of it.
Right.
You see all these like viral videos of people having mental breaks and schizophrenia and paranoia, and they're screaming at people, and they're having even people in flashbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't even understand a flashback. So like, if you guys never heard of one, a flashback literally, makes your brain snap back to a moment in time, and everything that you see, hear, smell, and feel is from that
From
place
that
and
moment.
time
Yep.
back then. You don't see anything current. And it's talked about a lot in our military and in our veterans. And they it literally is like they're back in combat and they're fighting for their lives and they're seeing people die around them. And um I had a friend who went through a flashback. I've gone into flashbacks, and it's very difficult to get them out of it. You have to get them physically present in the moment
Mm-hmm.
to feel something and to hear something. But it's a very dangerous situation because you don't see what they see,
Yep.
and they can hear you, but they might not see you as you.
Right.
They might see you as someone else. So when they're saying they don't trust you, or they're calling you someone else's name, or they're freaking out about something, it's very real for them. And it's
Very.
best to usually step back, because it can be a very dangerous situation, but continue to talk to them and continue to tell them that you're here now in this moment, and bring up things that are current and present, to try to help them snap out of it. And sometimes it can work really quick, and other times it doesn't. And you
Yep.
see these viral videos of people just going off in the middle of the street, like wielding knives and freaking out, and going off on people, attacking people, and people are laughing like, he's on drugs, fuck, coked out, he's on heroin. And they haven't taken a lick of drugs in their day, but they're going through a mental health crisis and a mental
Yep.
health snap. And people just automatically make fun of them and turn them into like these viral videos and memes. And
Yep.
it's very demeaning and degrading. And instead of saying, oh my God, this poor person is really struggling, even if it was drugs, that person is
They're
struggling.
still having a problem. They're still going through something. Like they still need help and support.
But this new world that we're in, it's take a video and laugh,
No, it's so
and
sad.
go viral, and make memes and make fun of people for something that's out of their control. um it's sad. It really is sad. And like I said, I mean, mental health is extremely near and dear to my heart, and mental health awareness is, and no matter what I'm going through and no matter what I've dealt with, I think opening up and talking about it, and knowing that, I've even heard friends say, oh, well, you're going through your own things. I don't want to put it anymore on you. No, put it on me, because one, it's a break from my shit.
Yep. You have
It's a
like
break from
you
my
have 10,
shit.
15 minutes where you can
Okay.
think about someone else. It's it's
Yes.
it's
And
nice.
for everyone that knows me, and I'm sure you guys know me now a little bit, um, I get pure joy, and satisfaction out of helping someone I care about. If I can help them understand something, or just be there, give my opinion, give my voice, give, my point of view of something that I've been through, give some tips and tricks that have helped me. If I can do that for someone, then everything that I've ever dealt with and everything I've ever struggled with all makes sense, and
Yep.
it's worth it you know and like I said, I mean, it's a break for me. Give me a break, damn it. Come to me. like but like, all jokes aside, I mean, honestly, like, you have to have someone that you can talk to.
Hmm.
And I honestly, truly, like, I never, with anyone that has come to me, and I've even had, strangers come to me. I've had coworkers before come to me who I've never talked to before. But, I give that Mama Nelly vibe, and everyone's like, yeah, you're just so easy to talk to. I could talk to you. I'm like, well, hey, girl, step into my office. I won't charge you. But it's like, you need someone that you can talk to.
Yeah.
You have to have that outlet. And if I can be that outlet, I'm here. I am here. And I don't ever look at someone like, oh my God, this person's having an issue again. Oh, they're burnt. No. I want you to come to me. I want you to feel comfortable to come to me. And I honestly, truly feel honored. So for all my friends out there who are worried that they're bothering me, you're not. I actually get pissed off if I find out that you held things from me because you feel like you're going to be a burden and bother me. It pisses me off. Let that be known. So come to me. Okay. Don't piss me off. But I honestly feel honored that you choose me, that you trust me enough because I know how hard it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and the world just sucks. The world sucks completely.
Facts. 100%
Completely.
facts.
The negative notations on mental health is discouraging and disgusting. Um, and it pisses me off. I could sit here this whole damn podcast talk about how this shit pisses me off
Yep.
because I see so many people. I have something in my eyeball, guys. I see so many people get treated differently, get treated negatively,
Mm-hmm.
um, or brushed aside or pushed aside because they have some kind of mental health crisis or because they speak about it and now they're looked at as a crazy person or someone who's less worthy. And it pisses me off. I will fight people, both hands, both feet.
Yeah, no, it all comes, there's really no excuse for being ignorant in anymore. Like, you have the world at your
There's so
fingertips.
many
You have
resources.
so
Right.
many resources to look up anything that you could possibly want to look up. It's there for you at your little fingertips. So,
Listen, I don't have all the answers, but I Google the shit out of everything.
exactly. I don't
Google
know.
is
Google.
my best friend.
Yeah.
My best friend.
I Google all the time. I got like 47 tabs on my
Yeah.
phone open right now.
I know. I'm sure there are things that I say to you where you're like, what the hell is she talking about? Google, hold on.
Sometimes. There's definitely been a couple of times, especially when you and Riss start going, where I'm like, what is that? And I'll Google so that I don't not asking you.
Oh, come on.
Well, I don't, I want to be the cool old mom, not the, not the.
It ain't nothing about, listen, and that's, that a little bit off topic. I mean, but this is good for your mental health to understand. Asking a question or coming out and saying, hey, I don't understand this, or hey, I don't know this, doesn't make you not cool, doesn't make
No, I
you a
know.
smart person, So let's get that mental health clarity right
But
there
Google
and,
is my
have a
friend,
little
and it can be
little
your
little
friend
bit
too.
of emotional boost there, buddy.
But you can look it up.
Okay.
You can look stuff up. You can look up mental health. You can educate
Please do.
yourself.
Please do. Please
There's
do.
no excuses
Or
anymore.
just say, hey, I don't understand. I don't get it, but I'm sorry you're feeling the way you're feeling.
Yeah.
You don't have to understand or completely agree with something um, to be compassionate with somebody who's dealing with something.
Yep.
Don't be a fucking asshole.
It
Like, how
doesn't
many times we
hurt
gotta
to be
say this on
kind.
this
Seriously,
podcast?
I think maybe we have to have an asshole counter for every podcast now. Is this going to be a
Oh
thing?
my God. Like honestly, like I feel like the world is just full of some serious assholes and it just
Seriously.
it irks my soul. But it's like how hard is it to just be human, to be
I know.
compassionate, to
Apparently, it's very
be
difficult for some people. I
no.
don't get it.
I don't either. But it's a lot of people just like, that's, it's not what it is. I just, drink some tea or go out on a walk or get a hobby. It's not that easy.
No.
Okay. I'm here to tell you, those aren't the answers. Those don't fix it. Okay. Cut the shit. You're just making it worse. And you're making it to the point where that person is not going to come and talk to you.
Right.
Guarantee, mark my words. Um, but just say, hey, I've never dealt with it. I don't understand it, but I'm really sorry you're feeling that way.
Yep.
How can I help?
Yep.
How hard was that? That was pretty pretty damn easy, wasn't it?
It seemed easy
Let's
from this
all
end.
try this together. A one, two, three. Come on, guys. Hey, I don't understand.
How can I help?
But I'm sorry you're feeling this way. How can I help? What can I do? Sometimes just saying that helps them.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need anything else. Sometimes they just need someone to sit there with them.
Yep.
Sometimes they need you to bring them food, feed them. Sometimes
Remind
they
them to
just
take a
need to
shower.
know that you love them. Yeah. Listen, I needed a lot of those reminders a few times,
Me too.
you know? Like it's hard. It's so
Mm-hmm.
hard and people just don't understand that, the mental aspect of it is even though you can't see it, and that makes it very difficult to understand it. It makes it very difficult to diagnose it, and it makes it very difficult to fix it.
Yep.
Okay? Um, but just because you can't see it and just because it is in the brain doesn't mean that it doesn't affect the entire physical aspect of someone's being. When someone gets to a very specific point of depression, and even just the slightest bit of depression, they can be overly tired.
Mm-hmm.
That mental snap in the brain, it messes with your hormones. It messes with everything. And you are literally physically tired. And sometimes to the point where you can't get out of bed for days.
Yep.
And, people don't realize that. People are like, just get out of the bed and go do this. No, bitch. I literally cannot. My whole body hurts.
Yep.
It
Everything
feels like you
hurts.
get hit by a truck.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. Like your body just feels heavy and it's like you have the flu. Your whole body is hurting. You cannot move, even though in your mind you're like, I need to get up, I need to get up. Let me just get up. Let me go take a shower. 3 days later, you're saying the same shit to yourself
Yep.
and you still haven't gotten up. And people don't realize it's not just in your mind, it affects your entire body.
It sure does.
Quit telling people stupid shit.
Mm-hmm. Just be
Quit being an asshole.
Quit being an asshole. Just be kind. I I don't understand why it's hard, but it really shouldn't be. Just be
Yeah.
kind.
Some human decency. Humans suck.
On a large scale, yes. On a smaller and more
Yeah.
individual scale, you can find
No.
some really amazing ones, and they're out there.
No, there definitely are. I love my humans that I have taken in. Even some of our babblers here that comment all the time, my little love muffins. I take people in. I start calling everyone my loves or my muffins, guys. So just so you know,
Yep.
like I will. But yeah, whenever I take in my little human tribe, um, I like to think that we're not fully human because we're hybrids. We're quite spectacular and amazing and fuck the rest of these basic
Same.
ass bitches is what I say. I'm swearing a lot on this podcast,
Yeah,
guys.
you are.
Um, but yeah, I don't like the basic model of the human.
Yep.
They suck.
Yes.
They suck. But
Upgraded
for those who are
versions
more
only.
evolved,
Yes.
yes, yes. You gotta have a specific software upgrade to be in my liking and be my love muffin. Um, but everyone can get there.
Yes.
You just gotta be willing, okay, to be upgraded. Let
Yep.
me upgrade you. Can we just stop playing that song right there, please? We clearly got the software download over here at the Babbling Sisters. So if you would like for us to share this software upgrade, please hit us up. It's a very nice
I'll
one.
point you in the right direction.
Glittery.
There may be some rainbows
Oh my God.
involved, but it'll be okay.
Unicorns, unicorns. I told you I'm a unicorn alien. I made it my own because anyone wants to join me. I go by vibe only. So if your vibe's off, you can't join my unicorn alien tribe. I'm sorry.
Yep.
But if your vibe is on point, then I'm accepting you in. You got this.
Truth.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, like if you it really boils down to I get it. Mental health is very difficult. There's so many different aspects to mental health that it can be very overwhelming and very hard to understand. But if you don't understand it, then just say that.
Mm-hmm.
But still have empathy for the person who's
Right.
dealing with it. You know, and if it's someone who's extremely close to you, bitch, you better get on Google. You better start understanding.
Learn
Go to an
everything you
appointment
can.
with
Yes,
them.
seriously.
Go to an appointment. Sit in on a therapy session with them. Be like, hey, do you mind if I sit in with you and like ask questions and really see what's going on and get a full understanding? Because I want to support you. All of you, physical,
Mm-hmm.
mental, like I need to understand what's happening. And that's okay to ask somebody who's dealing with mental health issues. It's absolutely okay. It actually, for me, makes me feel like you actually care
Right.
and you're willing to understand. You're not just pushing me aside as some crazy broad. You know,
Yeah.
it's okay to say to someone, I really have no idea. I've never dealt with it. And you're the first person that's close to me that's dealt with something like this. I'm gonna do my best to understand. I'm really sorry you're dealing with it. How can I help? It goes right back to
Yeah.
the damn basics of customer service.
Seriously. Everyone should have a customer service
How
job.
can
That's the solution. Get a customer service job, and then
we
you
all
get the
start out
upgrade.
that way? Don't listen, I can give a crash course in customer service, okay? If you don't need to start before you get the upgrade, because this upgrade's amazing and not everybody can handle it. You might crash and burn. Head exploding emoji. Um, But I feel like it goes back to just the basic understandings and fundamentals of being a decent human being and respecting that everyone is different and everyone deals with things differently. And, you know, my depression is different from Steph's depression. Like
Yeah.
the way she handles her depression or the way her depression, bothers her or affects her is completely different. Now, we could have literally the same diagnosis and literally the same things happening in our brain, but because we are different people and our emotions are different, it's going to affect us differently. Just like if you were to cut my arm and cut her arm, the same slice, the same spot, we're going to bleed and heal differently. Why? Because we are different fucking people. Mental health is not cookie cutter. You can't put everyone into a fucking box. Damn it.
It's true.
Okay. I think I reached my quota on swears in this podcast,
There's a
guys.
lot. There's a lot of them.
It's a very sensitive subject.
No, but it's. I mean, it's all facts, though. It's true.
Yeah.
Just you just need to open your minds a little and be
Yeah.
kind, be willing to learn and to grow.
Mm-hmm. One other thing I will say is for all the people out here, like, just take a pill. Medicine doesn't fix everything.
It doesn't always
Medicine
work.
cannot fix everything. It can
Yeah.
suppress some things, it can make things worse. But therapy and there are different kinds of therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And just being able to talk to someone, sometimes behavioral therapy, like repetitive tasks and things to help ease anxiety,
Yep.
meditation, yoga, breathing exercises are huge. Essential oils, Steph can attest to that. She'd be sniffing on her shit all day. um, there's so many different things that have come out. Medicine doesn't fix everything. And there are so
That's
many
true.
people who are just like, oh, well, just, get on some medication and you'll be over it. And then you can get off the medication and you'll be fine. No, there are some people like myself, medication didn't work. Um, Even therapy at times made things worse. I had to figure out my own course, my own things that helped me. And my tribe truly helped me.
Yeah.
Meditation and breathing exercises truly helped me. Art, being able to create is what truly helps me.
Yeah.
Uh, Everybody has their own niche of a thing that helps them. But it's not as easy as popping a pill and everything magically goes away. It doesn't work like that.
Now, pills can be that medicine can work for some people,
They can,
and
yes.
some people
Hmm.
absolutely need it,
Yep.
because of the imbalance is so strong and stuff. But uh,
Hmm.
like with you, Nelly, it didn't. It helped a little bit in the beginning, and then when we had to adjust the dosage and stuff, it made it worse for
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
and it was
Hmm.
unbearable.
Yep. Um, I was on medicine when I was younger. I blacked out. I didn't remember things, which I could remember some of the things that I was told I did. Um, but I can't. But even, more recently when I was dealing with my whole life being thrown up and tossed into the air and shook about, and everything crashing down around me, I started back up with therapy because I'm like, all right, I need an
Yeah,
outlet because my depression and my anxiety was so bad. And, I was usually able to control it myself and I could not. The panic attacks were coming out of nowhere. I wasn't sleeping, which makes it so
so
much
much
worse.
worse.
Um, and I was hesitant to go on medication, and the doctor had tried a couple of things, and I ended up stopping it myself. And I lied to him for a while and told him I was taking it, um, because he kept trying to push me. He wasn't listening. He was trying to push me into continuing on and maybe trying a different medication, or maybe upping the dose or going back on the dose. And it was a lot for me. And for me, that gave me more anxiety. That gave me a lot more trouble than it was worth.
Yep.
Um, and there was a point where I felt like I wasn't dealing with my emotions. I wasn't acknowledging them because they were suppressed with the medication. I felt foggy and I felt numb,
Yeah.
literally. Like not in a body physical, like my limbs were tingling, but just numb mentally where
Yeah.
I wasn't happy, I wasn't sad. I was just a shell. And I was just like, well, the fuck? Like I was like, no, this don't feel right. Like I
No.
need to feel this shit. I need to process it. I need to deal with it. I need to get over it. Like, fuck the medicine. I'm going back to, okay, now I have a couple of extra little tools in my arsenal. I'll take the Ativan when the anxiety is extremely bad, but I need to process this and deal with it the best way that I know how, which is what I've been doing for my entire life. Because the medication just doesn't work for me. And there are people who I know where they absolutely need it and it
Yep.
works wonders for them. And sometimes they have to alternate depending on the season because depending on the season, their depression is different. And I'm so happy that they found something that works for them. But my point was, don't just use that. Like I said, putting
Right.
everyone in that one mental
In that
health
one
box
box.
of,
Yeah.
oh, just take some medication, you'll be fine.
Because
No,
yeah.
it doesn't work for everyone.
No.
And like I said, there's so many different things out there that people can get into now and can try. And essential oils, amazing. Do some research on them. Yoga, breathing
Yeah.
techniques,
Yoga and breathing,
amazing.
so good.
You
Helps
know,
a lot.
find your sweet spot, find your comfort spot. What do you really truly enjoy? And when you're in a very depressed state, I know how hard it is to get up, but what do you enjoy? Do you enjoy the beach? Do you enjoy hearing the waves? Put the wave sound on your phone if you can't get out of the bed, and just close your eyes and just listen to the waves and just let it break the cycle. Like there are things that we can try in that moment to help us get out of it to where we can try to pull ourselves out.
Yeah.
But don't be closed-minded and just think medication will fix it. No.
You gotta put in the work. Even if you're on medication, you still gotta put in the work.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
the only way.
Hmm.
It really
For
is.
sure.
Yeah.
But my point wasn't towards the people with the medication, was
Yeah, yeah.
towards the people who just like, ah, yeah,
Who
just take a
just
pill.
pushing it on you, yeah. I understand.
The pill pushes
Yes.
because they don't take the time to understand the mental
Do
health of
you
the the problems behind it, the triggers behind it, the different situations and things
Yeah.
that need to happen to break it and to fix it and make it bearable and livable, because you're not going to always fix it and it's never always going to go away. Just because I wasn't having major depression situations or major anxiety situations, it was still there,
Yeah.
and it came rearing its ugly head in the first opportunity it got of my weakness, to where I wasn't able to focus and say, hey, no, no, we don't need you here. It can come back at any point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be, a wave. Something happens and boom. And that's what happened to me. I wasn't having depression and anxiety the entire time of my 20s and
Yeah.
early 30s, but it came crashing back. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I haven't dealt with this shit in forever. But I needed to acknowledge that it was always a possibility. It was always there because I dealt with it before. And
Yeah.
for people that have dealt with it, you're more susceptible. You know that word?
Yep.
What's the word?
Success. I can't say it now. I am going to say it wrong.
Shit.
I can't do it.
My
Success.
tongue isn't working with my brain. You're more apt
they,
to have it
yeah,
happen
they know what we're
again.
saying.
Okay. But change the word. You know, our little love muffins are gonna be in the chat. Like, this is the word you were looking for right here,
I,
Nelly.
I know how to.
Thank you in advance.
I
Yeah,
just can't say it. I know the
I'm
word.
saying it in my brain and I'm messing it up in my brain now because this down here was messing it up. So
Yeah.
fuck that word. I just said it in my brain, but I refuse to say it out loud. Anyway, haha, take that. So yeah. Moral of this episode and moral of the story is
Yes.
don't be an asshole. Mental health is not in a box. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not happening and it doesn't exist. Um, and if you don't understand it, say that, but be there for that person as a human. Be
Yes.
empathetic and try your hardest to understand. Like Steph said, it's at your fingertips, people, at your
Mm-hmm.
fingertips. But what I will say to people, if you are struggling with mental health, feel free to hit me up, hit up Steph. We'll be
Yep.
sounding boards for you guys. Talk to us. Guarantee you, I've been through a lot more than I've said on this episode. Um, but life happens, and it doesn't make you any less worthy or any less of a person because you're dealing with something. Um, I want everyone to feel comfortable to be able to reach out and say, hey, bitch, I'm struggling.
Yes.
And you might not even know what you're struggling with. And maybe that's what we can try to figure out together. You know what I mean? I tell my friends that all the time. Like, one of my very good friends struggles with mental health, and she'll reach out to me and be like, bitch, am I struggling or is it you? Am I feeling you or is this me? Because I don't know why I'm struggling, but I'm struggling. And sometimes I'll be like, you know what? I woke up at 5 a.m. and this is what was on my brain. But because we're very in tune with each other, and when she's feeling something, I feel it. So sometimes the wires get a little crossed. But she just reaches out and she says, all right, I'm swirling, I'm in a downward spiral. I just want you to know this is what's going on. Um, and it's really important for her to do that because we live cross country. It's not like I can just pop in and check in like I used to when she was living over here. Um, but even if she didn't, for me, because of everything I've been going through, I've been really horrible at reaching out to people. And that's not who I am or who I want to be. So I need to, now that I'm getting settled in, I'm going to have my mental break moment. Trust and believe that's happening soon. But after that, like I need to start reaching out to people more like I was before, just saying, hey, what the hell's happening over here? Um, and being that, especially for my stronger friends, especially for the people who look out for everyone else, and just checking on them and saying, are you good? I've said that to some of my friends, like, "Hey, how's everything?" One of my friends, he responded, he's like, "Everything's good," and I was like, "Okay, how are you mentally? What's up?" Because that's a different
It
question.
is.
You know, you can give me the whole, "Oh, great day, customer service bullshit,"
Yep.
but
Well, we're
how are
so
you really?
programmed, though. You're so
Yeah.
programmed when people ask you the "How are you?" question that you're just like, "Oh, I'm good. Everything's good." That it's an automatic response. But when they ask,
Hmm.
"How is your mentals?" you're like, "Wait a minute. Like, wait, how are they doing? Like, what's really going on?"
You really gotta turn into
Yeah.
yourself and be like, "Oh, mental check. Hold on."
Yeah.
Um, and it's funny because there are some friends who reach out and they're like, "Hey, how's everything going? How are you?" And I'm like, "Do you want the general answer I give everyone, or do you want the raw truth?" Because sometimes you can't handle this raw truth. Let me tell you. So I have to ask. There are, and if it's someone who I don't typically open up to, I'll be like, "Hey, it's great." Because if something was wrong, you would know it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but just check on people.
Yes, please.
If someone comes to your mind right now that you haven't heard from and you're used to hearing from them, check on them. They might be struggling. Um, if you're struggling, reach out.
Mm-hmm.
Do not feel ashamed. Do not feel like you're a burden. Don't feel like you're crazy or you're an outcast or there's something like seriously wrong with you because you're going through a mental health crisis. Don't put that much on yourself.
Yep.
Don't do it.
You're not
Reach out to
alone.
someone.
Yep.
And if there's no one in your life that you can reach out to, we're here. Like, I'm dead ass serious. We will do we got our email up
I don't know if the
on?
email is in the description, but we've got links in the Discord to the Discord, and I can put our Babbling Sisters email in there too, and there'll be other links for mental health stuff as well in the
Let's
description.
do it. Because if you don't feel comfortable, posting something on here and having an open discussion in front of everyone, email us, babblingsisters@gmail.com.
Yep.
And we will get back to you. I said that for all the people just listening to the audio and who may not jump in and see the email.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely hit us up. Don't suffer alone. Don't suffer in silence because it's only going to continue to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
That's that. Any other last amazing words?
I don't. I think that's
Anything
about it
you
for
want
this
to?
one.
You got a whole list over there. I see you looking down. What's on your list? Anything?
No, I listed a bunch of different things, but we hit everything. Yeah,
Okay. I
we're
just want
good.
to check and make sure because you are amazing and your brain is amazing and I value it. So you look
Oh, thank
down,
you.
checking your notes. Do you need like 20 seconds to skim over your notes? I could play some
No,
elevator music.
no, we're good. We're good.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sure
Good.
we're gonna have more
I
conversations
didn't
about
want to
mental health.
subject people to my elevator music because I really only had the Jeopardy theme song in my brain
I
at that
know. Why
moment.
is that
So
the
that would have
only
been
one that plays for me in my
horrendous.
head when you have to wait? That's the song that comes to my
I
head.
don't know. Damn you, Alex Trebek. Um, so yeah. He doesn't even host the show anymore, right?
No.
This shows how long it's been since I watched that show. I just dated myself. Anyway.
Check in
Yeah,
with you people.
so we'll definitely check in. We'll definitely follow up again on this and
For
dive
sure.
deeper into some things. There were a lot of things we didn't talk about, such as, trauma and triggers that all go
Hmm.
around mental health. So that's something else that we can definitely dive
Yeah,
into.
we have a lot of
Um,
experience in the mental health area, so
yeah,
there's lots of
we are not
discussions.
professionals.
We're not
I just
professionals.
want to put that
No, no.
disclaimer out there. We are not
But
professionals.
we grew up in and around mental health and
Yes,
that whole
yeah,
thing. So we know a lot.
definitely.
We've seen a lot.
Definitely. Yeah. So we'll definitely do another segment. So if there's something that you guys are curious about, that we might be able to provide insight about, in regards to mental health, um, or other ways that you could possibly help someone, that is suffering with mental health, comment, let us know, email us, let us know if you're on audio only. And then yeah, when we do this round two, we can definitely touch on some of that and some key points.
Absolutely.
But since it is way past our time,
Yes.
we are going to say bye bye. So until next time, be kind. Be kind. That was a lot of this
Hear
segment.
it.
Be kind. Spread love. Be loving to yourself, damn it. We're not loving enough to ourselves. And just remember, it is all a bunch of BS.
Bye.